Welcome to this video of the JavaScript tutorial series, and in this video we'll be looking at the ES6 methods or the ES6 syntax. We'll be looking at some of them. There are quite some more, but we just look at these four. We'll be talking about arrow functions, map, filter, and spread. Actually, let's just this should be named as a spread operator. So let's just do that. Okay, so first off, we will start with the arrow functions. Now, arrow functions are just another convenient way of writing functions. So let me just show you how. Const function name. We'll just add the function name here. Name equals it accepts a couple of normal brackets, and it accepts this arrow here, which comprises the equal to and the greater than sign. This one is denotes an arrow, and we'll just open two curly braces up. Alright, so what this basically denotes is, if you just write function function name, and we open up the curly braces, so it's basically this one. But what's the difference is that you don't have this keyword function, and in place of that you have this particular arrow. Yeah, so that's why it's called as the arrow function. So there's nothing much to it. You'll be calling this method in a similar fashion, like this. Let's just run a simple program now. It accepts a parameter, and let's just give this a parameter called str. Alright, so we just give this a parameter, and let's just console.log this. Let me just rename this to string. Yes, str. Alright, console.log str. I'm sorry, str. Alright, so also we'll just return this. Better to return it, and we just print this out on the console. Alright, that's done. Let's just clear up the console, and let's see what we get. Alright, we get hello. So as you can see here, in this case we're just passing the parameter to the function, and this is the arrow functions in the ES6 syntax. Functions very normally, just like the usual way which I had showed earlier, functions with a function keyword, but in this case we'll be using something like a variable here. Maybe specifying like the function like a variable here. So you can also just if you just wish to pass only the function and you don't want to execute it, then you'll just have to pass it like this way. And if you want to call it, then you'll have to include the braces and the normal brackets and the parameter. So pretty straightforward here in this case. You can either use that syntax or this syntax, but I use this one more because it's more convenient and makes the code look more neat in my opinion, but that's up to you. So let's look at map and filter, but before that before that we'll just look at the spread operator, since it's interesting. Let's just define a variable array1 that equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just take this as array1, and what I'll be doing in array2 is I'll be defining another array 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so what I'll be doing here is we have first of all we have two arrays here, as you can see. I defined them. Now let me just try including this whole array into this array. Alright, so let me just try including that. See what we get. Let's see what we get. Array 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so we have included array 1 in the second array, and let's see what we get. Undefined. Just one sec. Yeah, I'm sorry, print the yeah, array 2. So yeah, let's see what we get, and we get something like this. Alright, so what has happened here is 5, 6, 7, 8 is one part of the array, as you can see here, and array has concatenated itself as another array inside this particular second array. So there's an array within an array in this case. So you can actually keep on adding more arrays to this, but nesting arrays is not a really good option most in some cases, because your logic will become too complex. But in those cases, you can use something called a spread operator, which will take only these elements out and push it to this array. Alright, so all we have to do is we have to put the ellipsis or the or what you call the 3 dots before this array, and let's see what happens here. If I just run this now, and voila, there you go, you have this array here complete without any nesting of arrays, and you have this whole array here. So that's what the spread operator actually does. It tries to get the elements within the array, and if you're trying to add nest arrays, then it will make it a lot more easier to just push the values inside this particular array. Alright, so that's what it basically does. Nothing really too complex in this, but again, it just takes time getting used to it, and this is most commonly used in React, where you React is a front-end framework which is used for managing the whole front-end, and it's pretty convenient. But let's not get too deep into React. But the main use of a spread operator is to have, let's just suppose we are getting some database data from the backend. Alright, so if you just wish to compile all of that within the previous set of objects that has been displayed on the React application on the website, then we'll be using the spread operator to just integrate that smoothly just within with the values, instead of integrating the whole array, so that managing it will become easier. So yeah, that's pretty much it for spread. All you have to remember is it tries to just tries to take the values out of it, out of this array, and pushes it into this array. So one more thing I have to highlight is that ordering does matter here. If I just do it here, and let's see what we get. The order might have changed. Yeah, as you can see, 1 2 3 4 5 is between 5 6 and 7 8. So ordering does matter in this case. So yeah, it's basically like you're just ignoring these array limiters, and you're just pushing these values into this particular array. So that's what it's all about. So spread operator, that's done. Now let's see map and filter. We'll just keep both of these arrays. No, let's just keep one array. Let's just keep array 1. Yeah, let's just create an array. Let's just create a variable first. Map output. So name is this map output, and array 1 dot map. Alright, so this one accepts a function as a parameter. Now you can actually define a function here, function map function, like we did earlier in the previous videos. We will just actually add this map function here, and let the map this method do its thing with the function. But there's one more way, and we'll be using the arrow functions in this case. How you do this is you will just be removing this, adding a couple of normal brackets, the arrow, and the flower braces. So previously in the list just a couple of minutes ago, I just showed the arrow function with the variable, but in this case you don't need a variable because it directly accepts a function as a parameter. This map method actually accepts the function as a parameter, so you don't actually need a variable to reference it. So this is what it is. It's don't worry, it's really common to use this, and you'll get used to it in no time if you're just using ES6 frequently, and this is the usual way of doing it. So let's just define element within this, and so let's just console log the element variable here and see what we get. Element. Alright, so let's just see what we get here. We should be getting 1 2 3 4 5. As you can see, we're getting 1 2 3 4 5, and it accepts one more parameter, the index parameter, and if you just print that out, then we'll be getting the indexes as well. As you can see, 1 2 3 4 5 are the elements, and 0 1 2 3 4 are the indexes for this particular element. So indices for this particular element. So that's pretty much it for map. There's one more similar method called as filter. Let's just change this. Yeah, so map, all it does is just maps through the array like the method actually tells. And yeah, this is pretty much the same, but with the exception that you're filtering the elements here in this case. And here's how you would actually filter elements. Alright, so if I don't wish to include 5 from this element or from this array, then what I would be doing is I'll be doing something like this. So exclude this element and give me the array. That's what it tells this particular line. So yeah, the fat arrow function, or the arrow function element that is being passed as a variable. So let's just print this out and see what we get. Filter output. Yeah, you just have to log it. Alright, let's just see. Oh yeah, alright, so we get an array here. We get an array back which consists of only 1 2 3 4 and not 5. So that's what our this line of code actually tells, and that's pretty much it for this particular video. And that's all about arrow functions, map and filter, split operators. There are quite a few more ES6 syntax changes, but yeah, for now these are just this is just an introduction to ES6 and how it would make your code look a little more neater, but again, it's subjective. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching.